Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you some off angles on the map Split. Now if you don't know what an off angle is, it's an angle that isn't commonly held. For instance, if the enemies were pushing a ramp, a lot of people would hold this angle. They would always come around this corner and check this angle, so that would not be an off angle. An off angle might be like right here, because enemies are much more likely to just come around this corner and check this angle first than looking for a guy standing right here. So basically an off angle is an unexpected angle where enemies are not likely to check, which will let you catch them by surprise and possibly get an easy kill. Okay, so starting off with defending a site from an attacker's push. Common angles would include here, here, and here. However, Brimstone can easily smoke all three of these angles off of his sky smokes. Slightly less common angles I see is someone playing balcony up there, watching a push, and hell right here, watching a push. However, both of these angles are common enough that the enemies are likely to check them. One very good off angle would be right here. Now you have to be careful, your gun barrel might stick out if you have a particularly long gun, so you might have to look away, but as soon as you hear them, you might get some free picks, because by the time they are done checking here, a lot of the times, they're not going to check right there. Another good off angle would be elbow. Now a lot of people will peek out elbow and do that, but then they're going to get blocked off by the same smoke that blocks off the guy playing screens. So playing elbow, you could just wait right here for a push. You could even wait here for a push, although you don't have a whole lot of cover to go to if they do push out. Now moving on, if your team has taken a site and planted the spike and you have to defend the spike from a retake, there are a different set of off angles that you can use. This angle is pretty common, so I would not recommend it. However, I rarely see anyone play this angle. A lot of the times, if they're trying to go to screens to attempt a retake, they'll just come around this corner and you'll get a free kill from there. Another off angle you could hold would be right here. Now this is not a good idea if you don't know if they're coming from ramps or rope, because in that case you'll be forced to watch two angles. But if you know they're coming from rope room, you can hide right here. And the first thing they probably won't be checking close left, they'll be checking like back there, and possibly in ramp, and they'll mostly be checking in heaven window. If you have a character that has movement abilities and you want to watch the retake if they're coming through sewers from mid, you can get up here. Now this angle it's checked relatively frequently, however, a lot of characters will not have the vertical flick skills. A lot of people practice their horizontal flicks, but it's a lot harder to get a vertical flick in, so it may help you a little bit to stand up there. Then we have this angle. This angle is relatively common when used to defend an attacker's push. However, when defending a retake, the enemies are on a time crunch, so they oftentimes will be making a lot of noise coming up this ramp, and they won't be able to effectively check both angles. So by playing here, you should get some early warning, and then maybe get a free kill off of it. Next up, we have off angles in mid. This can be used on both attacker or defender side. If you've taken a site and planted the bomb, this would be a good spot to watch if they're coming to retake from mid, or if you're defending and the attackers have taken mid and you're not sure if they're going towards B heaven or towards vents, you can hold this. They won't be expecting it most likely. It would be quite difficult to see you. They would only see the upper part of your body, which would make your hitbox smaller. Next up, in mid, we have this angle right here. It's commonly used by attackers to bamboozle their enemies. Now, the only issue is getting there without the enemies seeing you, because if they see you from vents, cross into here, then they'll know to expect it. However, if you are an Omen or someone, and you can, like from all the way back here, teleport into that cubby, it can be extremely difficult for the enemies to push down mid when you're right here, and you can easily clean them up, because they probably won't check this angle. Then we have this angle in sewers. This can be held by any team, whoever wants to have sewer control. And surprisingly, I don't see very many people playing this angle. Like, it's really powerful. People check it a lot, but because people rarely play it, I think it has potential to get you some pretty easy frags. Next up, we have this angle. If you're an attacker and you can hear the defenders pushing down mid, this angle is extremely good. A lot of attackers, they're going to be holding this angle because, you know, they want to watch vent room. But if you're playing this angle, then the defenders, they're going to come around, they're going to be checking this, and then they might just move in, and you're right there and you get some free frags. Moving on to B Heaven. As a defender, if you can hear them pushing from mid to B Heaven, oftentimes you don't want to hold an angle like that, or this, because they'll be expecting that. Holding an angle further back will make them think that they've taken full control of B Heaven before they even see you, and then as they try and actually exit the window, then you'll be able to frag them while they're looking the other way. Next up we have Hell. Now this is a relatively common angle, but because it's so big, you can camp right here, you can camp over here, you can even camp all the way over here. So checking all of Hell very quickly can be very difficult because the enemy is already exposed to so many angles, including backside, garage, and now they're exposing themselves to Hell, and they'll usually be watching these other more common angles, and you might get some free picks from Hell. Next up, we have this angle. This angle is extremely rarely checked. It's actually difficult to play because you're exposed to so many angles. You can reduce that angle, but they'll still see your gun barrel. This is really good if they're coming from heaven, because usually they'll drop down over there instead of off balcony here, and then they may not even check, and if they start defusing in default plant, which is right there, you can really easily just swing around here and get them. Next up, we have this angle. Now, tons of people play on these boxes here, and so many that people will actually swing around here, checking these first. So if you just play on the other side, a lot of the times the enemies are going to be looking the other way, and you'll get some really easy picks here. Now you do have to be careful because a full-on B push will often have their stage wall this exact spot, so in that case you may have to rotate onto site here and hold an angle like this, which is a little bit more expected. But if the sage doesn't wall, or they only throw a smoke, which you can push through, you could get some pretty easy kills off that. Alright, so now that you've taken B site, if you're an attacker, here are some off angles to defend it from a retake. First angle would be this one. Now a lot of you people, they're going to be checking that cubby, but by the time they get all the way here, their time is running out. The spike might be, it will be ticking along, so they might take some dangerous peeks here, and you're just going to be standing right there, ready to take them out as soon as they peek around this corner. If you want to play a more aggressive angle, I would recommend this one. It will block off basically all rotations from back of A. It will also protect your guy in heaven from them pushing upstairs. And let's be honest, nobody ever checks this angle. When they're coming around here, they're worried about an angle like right there, or someone holding up on the stairs. So that's a great off angle. It gets you quite a few free frags. The last angle I like to play is garage, but only if I know they're coming from either CT or heaven. And especially it works very well when it's planted default right there.
Here.
So the reason I like playing garage is the person who is pushing into site, they will often waste a ton of time. We're talking like 10 seconds clearing all of the angles that I could be hiding in. Sometimes they'll push out into CT, see if I'm there, see if I'm there, see if I'm there. They'll check Hell, they'll check backside, and they can waste easily 10 seconds, so sometimes I don't even need to push out of garage. If I just hold right here, I don't even have to push out of garage because they'll just run out of time and the spike will blow up. If I do here defuse, I can push out, and it takes 3 to 4 seconds to push out. However, if they've wasted enough time, even if they kill me, then they have to stop defusing the spike, and that could cost them the round. And lastly, the last reason I like this is when they're clearing back sight, they have to swing all the way out here. So if I'm holding here, sometimes I'll just swing out, and as they check back sight, they're not looking towards garage. They're almost always wanting to check that close angle on back sight. Free kills. If you're just looking for a great angle to get exit frag, spikes planted B, and it's like a 3v1 or 4v1 even, and you don't think you can clutch the round up, and you just want to get exit frags, Right here is a great angle for that. A lot of people don't check it, especially if you're crouching. It makes your hitbox pretty small, hard to see, and they'll oftentimes come around here, and they'll want to check that. If you're right here, you might get a couple easy exit frags on them. Alright guys, if you liked this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.